You're listening to Pointing Pointers, the Point to Point podcast. Hello, welcome to Pointing Pointers. I'm Ben Atkins. He's not. He's Sam Davies-Thomas. Welcome along. Sam, we have got a hell of an episode, a bumper episode, you could say.
Yeah, it's a big one, isn't it? Speaking to all the big guns. Yeah, it's a big one. Strap yourself in.
Strap yourself in. And firstly, as well, apologies we weren't around last week, as I put out on Instagram but nowhere else. So if you're not on socials, you didn't see. I was away for the week and Sam was doing nothing. So yeah, sorry about that. But we are back with a bang. And Sam, talking of bangs, we got on all right at Stratford, didn't we?
We did, yeah, we did well. It was a good night. I was told, I wasn't there myself, but I hear everyone had a good night. I hear Ollie Murphy's hospitality tent got raided by many. And yeah, Joe O'Shea came up trumps as we expected. The man doesn't miss. But no, it was a great evening, great racing, and yeah, really good way to finish off the season. Did you have a good night?
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't quite worked out who got the closest with their Yankee, but I'm pretty sure it was Joe. And we backed 5 out of the 6 winners between us, didn't we? In one way or another.
Yeah, I was really, really on high spirits when the first 4 went in, and should have cashed out. But there we go. Dale Peters did me over again. That horse won. What a performance that was, to be fair.
Yeah, I know it was a great night, wasn't it? So, without further ado, the format of the podcast, as you've alluded to, it's going to be quite a long one. This one, we've spoken to a lot of people this week and got lots of different views from around the place. We have not been able to get Paul Miller on. He's on a holiday, which is fair enough after what would no doubt be a long season. Speaking of Paul Miller, Sam, you had a call from a rather irate Luke Harvey, did you not?
I did, yeah. Irate, disappointed. He obviously had a few days and weeks to reflect on when he first heard the rules. But yeah, I thought I wanted to get him on just to get a different opinion from, a smaller trainer who only trains 1 horse per season and find out his opinion on the rules changes. And strap yourselves in for this one, ladies and gents. Here he is.
I'm delighted to be joined by point-to-point enthusiast Luke Harvey. Luke, how are you?
Good form, thanks.
Good. I wanted to get a different perspective on these rules changes. After speaking to a couple of the bigger yards, I wanted to speak to someone who kind of loves going racing, loves having a chance of being competitive, but only has a handful of horses. Obviously, you've had plenty of winners point-to-pointing in the past. How do you think these kind of changes are going to affect you?
Well, they're really going to affect me. Funny enough, I don't have a few horses. I only ever train 1 horse every year. And I was absolutely dismayed. I just couldn't believe it when I saw the rule changes. Firstly, it seems a bizarre organisation that implements rules and then suddenly asks the participants, in hindsight, what they think of them. Surely you'd ask before you implement rules. But anyway, that was the first thing. But the system that we've got at the moment with level 1, 2, 3, I think is really starting to work, and it's starting to give people a real chance. My mare, look, she only ran a couple of times this year, but she was a month out on she'd won a race, so she was a month out. She won in November, which means she was getting penalties. Well, this year she wasn't going to get any penalties, and I was really looking forward to the year. But the way that the new system is, she can't possibly win. She was rated at one stage. She was rated 124, I think it was, under rules. But she can't win off that anywhere near that sort of mark. So she's over 110, which is the rating they've given that you can run in the lower grade races. So she's got to take on open horses straight away off level weights. Well, she's got no chance. She's got absolutely no chance. And I'm not being selfish by thinking, I want to win every time. I just want to be competitive. I'm well used to losing in sport. Don't worry about that. but I want to go out there seriously believing I've got a chance of winning. The correlation between the BHA rating and point-to-pointing is absolute drivel, because you'll get 130 horses that come pointing, and for whatever reason, they just don't take to it. They can't win opens. They can't even be competitive. And yet, I had a horse. He was rated at one stage. He's rated 83, and he managed to win a 15-horse open. Yeah. So it doesn't work trying to do that. I mean, I think a fairer way would if they looked into the penalties given to horses that do run in opens. If you made it more appealing for people to run their open horses against each other, and then it'd be twofold. One, you'd have more runners in the opens. Two, you'd make it more competitive. And three, it'd be better for people for watching on. I cannot see. Look, people might disagree with what I think about it, but I cannot see one advantage of changing the system as it is. I just can't think of one.
No, I think Peter Wright, when he set these conditions up, he said it would take 3 years for these conditions races to settle in and work. And I think last season everyone thought that these are actually starting to work now. Like you saw a conditions race at Larkhill with Gaviga, Douglas Longbottom, and My Drogo, 1, 2, and 3. Like they work and they give horses chances, don't they? But I think you're just excluding that now, and it's a worry for those people who only train one horse like yourself.
Basically, the lower end of the scale are catered for. The higher end is certainly catered for, but the people in the middle of the one fairly moderate horse like I've got no chance of ever being competitive. There's been no race for me to be competitive in, and so I've already looked into it now. My wife's got the NVQ for that she's already passed, and I'll be forced to get a permit. I don't want to, and I wrote quite a strong email to point associations and said exactly this. That you're forcing me to go under rules. It won't be as much fun, but at least I'll have a chance of being competitive.
Yeah,
she'd definitely win in the summer. My mare win a little hurdle race somewhere, but I don't want to win a hurdle race. That's the whole reason. Before these rule changes, she's out. I'm looking out the window now. She's out in the field eating grass now. Because I like pointing. I like the atmosphere. I like the vibe. It's just I don't know. I was really on my high horse about it all, and it upset me.
Yeah, it's just understandable. Yeah,
it's just people. These rules have been brought in without consultation with anyone else. Maybe they have. I don't claim to be a big wig in pointing by any stretch of the imagination, but it's really got me riled. It's sort of something that I'm passionate about. I love doing. It's just going to the smaller people like me are just being pushed out. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and that's what everyone says we need to keep. That's kind of gone from the game, isn't it? It's very rare to have people like you still kind of going, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, pointing, like everything, I like change. Everything in life changes. It's got much more professional. You get big yards now running, 50, 60 horse yards. I've got absolutely no problem with that whatsoever. But what I do have a problem with is that I want to have a chance of winning. I want to have that hope that I might get ahead in front. She only ran a couple of times for various reasons last year, and she ran a blind at the last day behind a horse who was 14. But I still I've got as much pleasure out of that than I would go and winning a 0 to 90 at Worcester over hurdles. It's not what I want to do, and I just don't. I'm not being selfish and just thinking about myself. I think for the game as a, it's an amateur sport. It's a grassroots sport that produces really good jockeys. It produces young horses going on, and it gives older horses like mine that aren't very good a chance of a second career, and I think I feel that's just been taken away from a lot of us.
No, really good point. Thank you very much. Well, hopefully these a lot of people have been in touch with the PPA, and as you say, these rules have been implemented. They might do a U-turn. You never know, do you?
No, I genuinely, Sam, I promise you, I'm really upset about the whole thing. Pointing's been part of my life. From a child when I was taken there, I was lucky enough to ride, winners pointing, and very much, when I'm working on ITV or Sky Sports Racing, they're always say, "Oh, the Hunter Chase is coming now. Let's go over to Luke because he's the one that knows about that." And if I know that a meetings are, quite often secretaries will contact me and I'll promote pointing, And we've done various features on Point to Points. It's it'd be terrible shame if we make it too elitist and you get rid of Muppets like me. Muppets like me enjoy going pointing. I enjoy the people. I enjoy the racing, and I was dismayed when I read the new rules.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed, and hopefully we see your mare on a point-to-point track and not under rules if they've got any sense about them.
Yeah, I sincerely hope so, because I'm not running if I've got absolutely no chance of winning, and I'm afraid quite a few people I think will follow me. So there we go. It is what it is, but we've still got time to make a U-turn.
Agreed. Perfect. Thanks for coming on, Luke.
Cheers, mate.
Quite the listen, Sam. Quite the listen.
I think when you speak to people like Luke, you kind of need to listen, because he's a big figure. He's obviously very passionate about point-to-pointing, like many of us are, and he obviously speaks a lot of sense, and he speaks from the heart. So interesting, and we'll see where this leads.
Yeah, absolutely. So for balance, it's important to say that there is a link flying around where the PPA are asking people for their opinions, and it's really important that people give those opinions. It's too easy, isn't it, to say I would have done things differently, or that isn't how I would do it, or this is rubbish, or that's rubbish. It's a different thing altogether to put your hand up and to say I think it's rubbish, but this is how I think it should be done, or I'm going to do something positively to contribute to the sport. So that, that's not a dig at anyone in particular, but it is important, Sam, that, that if there's an opportunity to give our views, that we do so. It's still unread in my inbox at the minute. And I need to do it for myself. But yeah, I know a lot of people would put hours and hours into it, and some people who spend a lot of time moaning probably haven't even looked at it. So
send an email in.
Do it. Yeah, do it.
Agreed.
So it's not an email, actually, is it? It's an online form, I believe, Sam. Fake news.
Not sure, but yeah, just go on the website, you'll find it.
Good stuff. Right. So I caught up with Josh Newman, who, can you believe it, has won the Trainers' Championship for the second year in a row. And this is what he had to say.
So, Josh Newman, when we spoke this time last year and I said to you, do you think you can redo it again? I think you said no, actually. And here we are. You've won the Trainers' Championship for 15 horses or more. First of all, congratulations. And secondly, it must feel pretty sweet, I suppose.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. I thought last year when we spoke, it would be very unlikely we'd be hugely up against it. But we've had some consistent horses this year that have put their best foot forward, and everyone's worked very hard.
And before we get back to that, you also came a very close second in the men's championship on 45 winners. So, obviously one feeds the other. When you're riding well, you're training more winners. When you're training more winners, you're able to ride more winners, if you see what I mean. That must have been fantastic as well. You must have been really pleased with that. Obviously, you probably wanted to win, but it's a fair achievement all the same.
Yeah, no, here it's probably gone hand in hand. That definitely wasn't on the it's not on the agenda. I just hadn't even thought about it. Obviously, everything I ride, whether it's predominantly for us, but for other people, it's to get the best result you can. So when people say, "Oh yeah, I'm giving it a good go now," I suppose you're looking for as many more as you can get, rather than it's not that you're not trying. So it's been great, and obviously from the horse's point of view, everything that we send out is same again. It's to do the best they can and find the right races, the right tracks, and go from there.
You're beginning to talk like a trainer, Jack. You're beginning to talk like a trainer. Someone's been giving you some media training since since I was down there last.
Something like that.
Listen, it's a huge achievement, and there must have been some moments along the way which you've really managed to enjoy, like because you haven't been gunning for it necessarily, like as the only aim. You must have been able to sort of smell the roses along the way, so to speak. So is there any key moments that stand out for you as being like memorable winners for whatever reason, or anything that springs to mind?
I don't know really. I think we got a great start this year. They were flying out the gate. we started on the first weekend. We had the El Capitan. It was the only time he got beaten. That was the first meeting.
Yeah, the only time I backed him as well, Josh. Thanks for that.
Yeah, no problem. I just thought I'd remind you. But we learned an awful lot about him, and that's what it's about along the way. Is learning about them. If you feel like you get something wrong, you don't want to do it again. And I feel like we didn't do it again, and that's from training him to riding him. So that was good. And then the second day, I think we had a treble at Dunsmore. So it set the ball rolling. We had 4 runners in the first weekend and 3 winning. It's great start for anyone, but it was great for us to do it. From a personal point of view, you feel like the horses are in the right frame of mind, they're in the right place, they're fit, they're healthy, and you try and keep that going. I feel like we did. We had a 5-timer down at Wadebridge from, I think we took eight down, and none of them were out of the first 3 or 4.
Unbelievable.
And a couple, I think one of those races we had 2 in the same race. So no, they ran really well.
And lots of little satisfying twists and turns along the way as well, including giving Hannah Morgan a kind of a platform on which to build for the Ladies Novice Championship, and obviously that horse has been a start, if not directly for you. I know that one is yours, isn't it?
Yeah. So Hannah's had a great year. She obviously, Purdy had a win. Her own horse won. I rode it the first time after she took a fall, and then Hannah rode him, which it's good to get her started, and then she's had great success on the King's Writ and Casper's Court.
A horse I remember, Josh, if I might be wrong, but I think it's one of the ones that you put me on when I came down to see you in September. So I think you've got me to thank for that one, probably. Or was that another grey one? Was that a different grey one? I can't remember.
No, it might have been him.
Yeah.
Or Talamapo, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was that one. Yeah, it was that one. Whichever one won the most, it was that one.
You just put it right, didn't you?
Well, this is it. Yeah, I thought it was free the next day. Obviously, this is a terrible sport for just continually looking forward to the next race or the next championship or whatever. But we do have to look forward slightly, Josh. What is your aim? Presumably, you're still pinching yourself that you've won a second title, and I'd imagine. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'd imagine that you've got a fair few horses in. Success tends to breed success. Is the phone being busy?
Yeah, small bit. Obviously, we've a few are getting moved on. Whether you think they've sort of come to their best, or they're just had enough, don't want to do it, or a few little niggles along the way. It's finding the best homes we can for them. We've obviously sold on some younger horses, so hopefully with the intention of them going on to run well for other people, and it's back to restocking now. So here the phone's always on if anyone wants to get in contact about even inquiring. Nothing gets done straight away, does it? So but no, the door's always open, the phone's always on, and we're here to try our best and to be as successful as we can.
Brilliant. Well, I wish you all the best for hopefully relaxing summer. No doubt you'll be messing on with young horses and your young family to boot, but hope you managed a bit of a well-deserved rest, Josh, and we'll no doubt catch up with you next season.
That sounds good, and good to speak to you.
Cheers, Josh.
Unbelievable scenes, really. Pretty impressive stuff, Sammy.
Remarkable, yeah, and it's nice to see all these top guns kind of pushing each other further and kind of taking each other on. It makes competition is healthy. It makes people improve. It makes people want to get better. And and then following on from that, obviously Gina got beat last year by Izzy Hill, and obviously this year she regained it. And I think competition for Gina is important because it can be quite a lonely place when you're smashing out 25, 30 winners in the ladies' championship. You've got no competition. So Izzy's been a great kind of adversary for Gina. Is that the right word? Yeah, thanks. Good word, that. I had a chat with Gina earlier in the week and to talk about her season and the future plans, and here she is.
Now joined by Gina Andrews/Ellis, who has just completed swatting a fly. How is that? Is he still alive? Is he gone?
No, he's gone. I've got swat in hand to fend off any more.
There's nothing more annoying than that, is there? It's not.
No.
It's not Tom, is it?
No, not this time. No.
Okay, that's all right. Well, we thought we'd have a quick roundup this week on the podcast regarding the champions of the season, and I'm glad to hear that you and see that you have won your 11th title. It must have been a big achievement to kind of regain the title from last year.
Yeah, definitely. It was a lot less stressful than last season as well. Because obviously I had a bit of a battle with Izzy for second half of last season and came off worse, but back in front again this season, so that's great.
Yeah, and it's kind of, you obviously won 9, 10 kind of without much challenge, without being rude to everyone else. But then when you get a bit of a challenge around you, it does kind of push you forward. And Izzy's kind of come up trumps, and her riding's kind of improved dramatically over the last few seasons. It must be good to have someone there to push you along a bit.
Yeah, definitely. A bit of healthy competition doesn't do anyone any harm, does it? So, but like you said, it's not overly competitive, the ladies division. So, yeah, it's just been sort of me and Izzy the last few years. So, it'd be nice to see some younger ones coming through.
Yeah, and I think there is as well. There's some younger girls coming through as well, isn't there? And the yard, obviously, the first year the yard's been in your name. Good season.
Yeah, we had a really good year. To be fair, it's obviously a lot changing in our yard at the moment with having a national hunt horses as well. But yeah, I think by our standards, it was another pretty successful season. Not quite as many winners as we have had in the past, but I think that's for obvious reasons with some of the horses switching to a national hunt yard.
Yeah, 90 runners, 44% strike rate, and 40 winners. So yeah, Josh managed to win that title again. But as I said before, competition is good, isn't it? And it pushes you to probably want it more next year.
Yeah, definitely. So we've had a bit of a duel the last few months, I suppose, and but the weather didn't help really. We sort of we didn't risk horses on good to firm too often. So we want them for next season. So we sort of sacrificed probably a trainers' championship for the horses for next season, really.
Yeah, and girls in the yard as well, Molly obviously and Ellie as well. They've been going great guns as well, and it must be quite a big thing for you as well to be able to kind of bring them along and get them some winners as well.
Yeah, definitely. Like we obviously can't manage without those guys. Like they're a huge part of the team. It was great to get Molly her first 2 winners of her career on Young Rich. He's been a great old schoolmaster for her, and like I said, she works very hard, and it was nice for her to get a couple of winners. And the same for Ellie Holder. She's a bit more established now, obviously, and hopefully people start noticing her a bit more now and give her some more opportunity.
Yeah, and highlights for the season. One of my highlights I would have thought for you would be Late Night Fumble at Cheltenham. I thought that was very good training performance and a masterful ride, to be honest. Was that kind of a highlight of the season, or was there some others that I missed out?
Well, I suppose if you go back to right at the beginning, Chaddersley, I rode my 400th point-to-point winner. That was obviously a pretty good day. But yeah, Late Night Fumble at Cheltenham, she was amazing, really, and we've always thought an awful lot of her, but she's obviously had a few issues. She had a foal, and you never really know if they're going to return in the same form as they sort of went out in. So that was brilliant. She ran another really good race at Stratford. I think she perhaps just didn't quite get home that day, and probably Stratford doesn't suit her as well as Cheltenham. So we'll hopefully have her for next season now.
She came out of that race okay?
Yeah, she's absolutely fine. She's in the field having a holiday now. Good.
And any plans to kind of build on the yard over the summer to establish the kind of gallops and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, we've applied for planning permission to have another gallop put in here, a sort of a straight gallop with a bit of a hill, just going to be about 5 to 6 furlongs long. So we should hopefully hear by the end of the month if we can go ahead and get that put in, which will be, it'll make our life a lot easier because we do have to take them away galloping quite a lot at the moment. So that's a pretty big project. Hopefully we'll get going with soon.
Cool. And I see Thomas is over at the Sales and Ireland at the minute, kind of getting some stores for next season. Any horses that caught your eye this year that you kind of need to look out for next year?
Yeah, I think we've got a nice little horse called Call Me Early. He disappointed a bit in the bumper at Aintree. We thought he'd go quite well in that, but for whatever reasons, he didn't run his race. But he'd looked quite progressive in point to points up until then, and he was only a 5-year-old, so I think he's open to plenty more improvement.
Good. And going also a horse that kind of you got out of Dan's yard, Pillar Rock. He was kind of a revelation, really, wasn't he, with Jack on board?
Yeah, huge revelation. Dan's great for us. He always sends a few our way, if they're not working out for him for whatever reasons. And he's a horse that's had a few issues. He'd bled a few times and various other things, and he just perhaps wasn't coping with being in a big busy yard like that, and come in here and he seemed to thrive. It took him a while to settle in. His first run wasn't very good, but after that he just sort of never looked back, and hopefully he's going to progress again and give the owners some more fun next season.
Oh, good. And then next year, obviously, you've got the National Hunt Yard as well now. So what's the sort of numbers you're going to be looking for pointers next year? Same sort as you had this year?
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll be about the same. Hopefully we'll keep increasing the National Hunt horses. We're licensed for 18 at the minute, and we're hoping to, get a few more again this time. So hopefully we'll be up to sort of 25 plus, we're hoping. But with regards to pointers, I think we'll still have a similar amount, around 50. But obviously a lot of them are young horses to trade. So yeah, I think we'll be sort of similar numbers again this time.
And what's the next record to be broken?
Well, I'm currently stuck on 99 National Hunt winners on the track, which I was rather hoping might have happened at Stratford, but that wasn't meant to be. So yeah, that's the next one, I suppose. But otherwise, yeah, no, I think that's about it, really.
And another ladies' title next year would be nice.
Oh yeah, well, I'll obviously always be going for that, for sure. Keep everyone on their toes.
Yeah, keep everyone fighting for it. Well done on another great season. Thanks for joining us, and good luck. Hope you get your 99. Maybe get your 99 during the summer if you can get Jack off one.
Well, maybe. I think I might be riding at York on Saturday in the ladies' champagne race. So be nice. Maybe it might be then.
Nice to do it in that, and if you do, I'll be around on Sunday. Okay.
Yeah, I might give you a bottle, Sam.
Thank you. Perfect. Well, thanks very much, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Yeah, great stuff. I noticed actually. So Jack wasn't challenging for the title as much this year. Was that a conscious decision? You're obviously closer to the yard than I am. Was it mainly because Jack's so focused on the young horses, or was it a conscious decision at their end that Gina was going to ride more?
No, I don't think she probably. I was actually thinking Jack probably rode more than he normally does for the yard. With kind of some of the men's horses and some of the other horses. But yeah, Jack would concentrate on the 4-year-olds, and that's just how they work, isn't it? Jack's obviously riding a lot of the under rules horses, so that's probably where his lack of the pointers went.
A good point. And they've had a lot of 4-year-olds that probably haven't run because of the ground or whatever that Jack would have been on, and that hasn't been because of the ground. So that mystery solved. So speaking of the men's championship and remarkable people, we have given a fair amount of credit this year as we've gone along to James King, and another remarkable season in the tank for him. And you caught up with him as well, Sam?
I did, yep. Here he is. Jimmy King, boy.
James King, four-time men's champion, point jockey, second year running, he's won it, 59 winners this season. A good battle, but you've come out on top again, James. You must be delighted to win another title.
Yeah, no, absolutely delighted. Can't thank all the owners and trainers enough for putting me up and supporting me through the year, and without them it wouldn't be achievable, so a huge thank you to them.
Yeah, it's been a great year. 42% strike rate as well, which is no mean feat. The year you rode 62 winners, you had 162 rides. This year you only had 139, but it seemed to me like you had a lot of rides, but maybe you just rode a lot of winners.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was selective as so much, but this year, for example, I would travel places just for one ride that I thought could win, as opposed to trying to, book my card up with 3-4 rides of maybe half chances. So you only need one dart to hit the bullseye, and that was my sort of method from early on in the season, and did lots of travelling, and I was very well supported by everyone, and it seemed to work very well, and obviously had a real good ding dong with Josh for the latter part of the season, and it was really good to come out on top, and brilliant.
I was just speaking to Gina, and like competition is healthy, isn't it? Like it's important to have people pushing you along to make you improve, make you ride more winners, and it's got to help. And obviously you like it to be easier, but it's good to be challenged, isn't it?
No, absolutely. There's sort of a great depth of sort of male talent and female talent riding at the moment. It's just a case of getting the horse numbers back up, but I'm sure it will happen. Obviously it swings and roundabouts and things, so I'm sure it will come back round and become very healthy again, sort of the horse numbers and whatnot. But no, it's the riding talent is definitely there. It's just need the horse numbers to improve, but hopefully we can get there.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we've got these changes coming in next year. Have you got any initial thoughts on them? Looking at them.
Well, I'm not sure it's going to benefit the sport. I don't think. Might be an unpopular opinion, but I think if anything, it's going to push a lot of people out because with the lesser horses, the people the smaller people with only one horse, I think it's really not going to benefit them. For example, I had Luke Harvey on the phone the other day, absolutely spitting feathers. He's on about sort of putting his horse under rules and things for the changes that's come in because realistically his horse now has absolutely no chance of winning any sort of race. So yeah, I think there's going to be quite a uproar when it all sort of comes to hand, but we'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it. But we'll enjoy this season for now.
Yeah, definitely. But it's it's not. By the looks of it, it doesn't look like it's set in stone. I know it came out to be published, but they are asking for people to get in touch. So yeah, if you are listening and you want to get in touch, don't know what use it'll do, but you can all but say your piece, can't you? I suppose.
Yeah, no, that's it. I think if everyone just gets on it and sort of everyone works together to come together and make it work, then that'd obviously be great. But I think obviously going slightly off topic, I think the conditions races were working well. As Peter Wright said, they'd take 3 years to sort of come to fruition. But I think they were really working well this year. The only thing we need to do is tighten them up. Like when you've got 3 conditions races on the card, that takes away from the Open. But I think if you sort of able to tighten them up and can have 2 condition races on the card, like a novice riders, and then maybe like a level 2 or something, then I think that would work well. But having 3, sometimes maybe even 4 conditions races on the card, it was just ridiculous. I think that's where the problem really came in. But I suppose that's down to race planning and the meeting secretaries and whatnot. But I'm sure they can all get together and come up with a plan.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done on the fixtures, to be honest, isn't it? With the race plan and the fixtures, hopefully making more competitive racing, making it a bit spread out. Like the beginning of the year I thought it was really competitive racing, and it just dies off every year, doesn't it? When the racing becomes more, there's so much racing and not enough horses.
Yeah, well, it is that, and also obviously the ground probably didn't help. The had a very, very dry spring, didn't we? And for whatever reason, this day and age, people have become scared to run the horse on the quicker ground. I mean, if you look back when I think it was Istabrac and Desert Orca running, they ran on firm ground and raced on firm ground numerous times, and I think it's become a fashion that they want this good to soft ground. If anything, the racehorse this day and age has become a lot lighter and more adaptable to quicker ground. So I don't know why more people don't run it. I mean, obviously, if it's water patchy ground, then it could be a bit of an issue. But when it's just sort of generally quick ground, it normally doesn't do too much damage. I mean, if you go into the races fit, healthy, and sound, then 9 times out of 10 they'll walk away absolutely fine. So
yeah, and
just get on and run him.
Well, it didn't seem to do Daily Robin much harm, did he? He was remarkable all season.
Yeah, no, he was absolutely brilliant. To be honest, never imagined that he'd do that. But what it's like when a horse gets on after a losing run, they end up winning 1, they win 2, they get on a run then, and obviously we enjoyed this season and we would have ran him at Umberley, but obviously that was cut short. We put him away and we will run him again next year, but we're under no illusion it's going to come out in the same vein of form because it's like a striker in football. The season before, they could be absolutely unstoppable, scoring every weekend, and then the next year they come out and they can't put one foot in front of the other because they're not seeing the game quite the same. But no, we'll have to see. But no, he's absolutely brilliant this year, and we'll enjoy him while we can.
Yeah, and a big part of your winners is Luke Price, and obviously talking about running horses, these horses just seem to run and they just seem to win, and they just keep winning, don't they? Whether it's week in, week out, or if they have a break. But it's remarkable how he gets his horses to come back each weekend and just do the same thing.
Yeah, well, we would be on the phone, I would say, probably about 10, 12 times a day, just talking the races through, finding out what's running where, and it probably does Sophie, my partner's heading, and obviously probably does Luke's partner's heading, but it seems to work. We work very well as a team, and we go by the old adage of keep yourself in the best company and horse in the worst. So we try and find the worst race, and we can canter around, have the easiest race, and then the easier race you give them, the quicker you can turn them around. So it worked very well, and it's worked very well for the last few years. So fingers crossed along may it continue.
Yeah, that's all part of training a horse, isn't it? Putting your horse in the right race planning is all part of it, and he obviously does. And you both seem to work really well together to do a good job of it. Next year with these conditions, it's going to be harder to place a horse, isn't it?
Quite possibly.
So you're going to have to run where you've got to run. Really?
Yeah, possibly, but I think there will be still the option to obviously pick and choose and find weak races. There was a lot of sort of lesser opens towards the back end of the season, but I'd imagine if the changes come in, it will probably deter a lot of people, earlier in the season because the racing will be very hot. The only thing I'd be really against is they seem to be wanting to lump absolutely massive weight on horses' backs, which I don't see being much of a positive, but I'm sure they can cross that bridge when they come to it. I think they get a £5 penalty and a £10 penalty nearly straight away off the cuff, so that can't be much help for a horse, really, can it? But we'll have to see.
Yeah, exactly. And highlights of the season, what stands out as being kind of one of your highlights, apart from winning the title, obviously? What's the highlight of the season?
Highlight of the season.
Put you on your toes, haven't I?
You have a bit, yeah. I don't know, really. It's all been great, really. Obviously, I had a bit of banter with Joe Shea earlier in the season when he was giving me a lot of jip about time leaders this, time leaders that. He's going to beat Grasseronki, and then you've probably seen the video. Everyone's seen the video. I beat him and waved him on at the running as Paul Carberry did on B4 Salmon, but that was probably quite fun. And then obviously towards the end of the season, it was just great riding, lots and lots of winners, and obviously had a 4-timer at Holneycott, which was brilliant. That was for both Luke Price and Christopher Barber, who have been really supporting me this season, and can't thank them and all their owners enough. So brilliant.
No, Chris, I think I popped down, actually saw Chris's yard. There's a lovely setup. When it's finished, it's going to be a proper place, isn't it?
Yeah, no, he's got everything there, and obviously it was his first season in a new place, and quite often that is very hard for a new trainer to get to grips with the gallop and things, but a little bit slow to get going, but he was slow to move down there, so when the horses also were settled in and he got the hang of the gallops and the routine and things, they obviously flew. I think he trained 20 or 21 winners this season, so in no mean, I think he was fourth in the Trainers' Championship, I think, in the end, so no mean feat in your first season in a new base, and hopefully we can grow in quality and depth next year and kick on again. So brilliant.
Perfect. And Joe obviously forgave you for Larkhill when he legged you up on Barton Snow at Cheltenham.
Yeah, that's it. No, that was great. Me and Joe, we have a bit of a love-hate relationship, and it's all banter and things. But he's obviously an extremely good trainer, and obviously a brilliant horseman to do what he does with his horse. So I don't know how he does it, but he seems to do it. He improved no end, and he's very, very good at placing his horses. And I can't thank him enough for letting me ride Barton Snow at Cheltenham and give my first Cheltenham winner. So that was absolutely brilliant. So thank you, Joe.
No, that's nice of you, James. That's nice of you. But he tipped us up a Yankee on the podcast a few weeks ago for Stratford, and they came in. So it'd be
nice. That was obviously great that they all came in, because obviously he was very bullish, wasn't he? But he don't mess around when it comes to betting, I can't imagine. And obviously he's very shrewd. He knows his form inside out, and that's probably what makes him the trainer he is. He knows the form inside out, and knows the horse, doesn't he? So that's a huge step in the right direction.
Yeah, and next season, same again. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, hopefully same again. Obviously I've got a great bunch of owners and trainers that I ride for. Just have to go again. I think sort of replenish the stock and see if we can find any new ones. But obviously the trade was very, very strong at Doncaster the week for the horse in training sales, so maybe we have to just sit tight for a minute. Sort of similar again, pick and choose the horses, try and find horses which you go back through their form or bits and bobs or watch their videos that we think can win a couple of races, and hopefully pick them up cheap enough that if they don't work out, you're not going to be burning a hole in your pocket. So we'll just have to see. But no, thank you very much to everyone for putting them up this year, and brilliant.
Just make sure you don't buy anything rated over 110, because you will be in a pickle then, won't you?
Well, we normally can't afford them, so we might be all right with that. But but I don't know how you're going to get a cap on that of rated 110, because is that running off 110 the handicap, or their opening mark of 110, because the horse could just run, down the field in 2 maiden hurdles, and it's just a handicapper's,
and a horse
opinion that it's rated
a big yard being rated 110 is going to be different to being trained, but in a lesser yard rated 110.
Absolutely, yeah. And their opening mark might be 110, but realistically, it might be an 80 rated horse. They might just be overhyped or handicapped really badly. But I don't know how they're going to figure that out. I think it's absolutely ridiculous, and hopefully they come to their senses and get it all sorted out, because I think that really will put one of the final nails in the coffin. But
I agree.
Hopefully they get it all sorted. But hopefully everyone gets their emails in and put their opinion across, and be ashamed to lose all the small trainers and a lot of supporters, because realistically, if your horse is, it's easier to win a race under rules than it is to win a point to point, really, isn't it? Everyone does it for the love of the sport, not for the money. So we have to see, but fingers crossed.
Yeah, no. Well, thanks very much. Some very good points there, James. Thank you very much. And well done for the season. And good luck for next season again. You great year, and keep it up. Top man.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, everyone. Cheers. Bye, mate.
Fantastic. So, little anecdote for you then, Sam. I know you love my stories. So when I was at Stratford,
Can't wait.
I sat chatting to a lad, and he was quite friendly, and I bought him a pint, and I was sort of chatting away, thinking, I know this guy, but I'm not sure where from, but whatever. And turned out he was Ed Dogdrell. I've never met him before, but we sort of knew each other.
Dodrell. You still can't. You're trying to say his name about 5 episodes now. You still can't say it. Dodrell. Ed Dodrell, Mike.
I had a good chat to him. And the younger lad that he was with was pleasant enough, and we're having the crack. And then, so what's your name, mate? It was Ryan Corcoran. Two birds, one stone. And I believe that you also caught up with him, Sam.
Busy man, hey, yeah, hard man to get hold of. Currently in France, riding out, and I just rang him to speak to him, but he's in a taxi, so I'm going to catch up with him later. But this is what he had to say.
Joined now by Ryan Corcoran, who's had plenty of mentions on this podcast. I'm getting bored of saying his name, to be honest. At least I can now spell your name, Ryan. Out in France, how's that going for you?
Yeah, all good, Sam. Busy enough, so it's over here now probably for a week, 10 days, and go around a few different yards and see what the French culture is like.
Good lad, well done. Remarkable season, men's novice champion. Obviously, that was probably an aim at the beginning of the season, was it? And you must be delighted that you've managed to do it.
Yeah, no, well, I'm with Ed now here actually, but last year, no way I was going to catch him. I think everyone's going to catch him, to be honest. So we said, look, we'll ride 5 winners, and then I tried to ride 5, so and then stop and save my novice for this year. So with the thinking of trying to be champion novice, so that's paid off. It's sort of made it all worthwhile, really.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, and you were flying at the end of the season. Obviously, get a lot of outside rides that you probably weren't picking up before, like Luke Price and people like that. No, it's good to be riding for people like that, isn't it? It definitely helps. Oh,
exactly. Yeah, no, I've ridden a good few trainers and different owners this season, so no, it's good to have like the likes of, they say, Luke and Shark, and the likes of them. It's good to have a sort of a mixture.
Yeah, and you're still were you basing yourself out at Sotheby's Yard as well, half and half a day? Was that right?
Yeah. I was doing 3 days a week at Dave Pipes, the first half of the week, and then I was going on to Dean Sotheby's then for the rest of the week, and it worked out well.
And plans for next season? Are we going to keeping you point to pointing, or are you going on to Pastures New?
No, there's I'm on the course now in July for conditional course, so
Brilliant, perfect.
So yeah, we'll try and get it all rolling during the summer.
Perfect. And where would you be based out of?
Yeah, in Pipes.
Still at Pipes, yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, still there.
Perfect. And kind of looking back on the season, obviously 24 winners, but anything that stands out, any highlights for the season that you're really proud to do or achieve?
I suppose probably my last winner for Shark. I love that. Shark's a bit of a character, and it's good to sort of try and get a foot in the door with someone like that.
Yeah.
But no, there's been loads of highs, and no, I can't really point one out, to be honest. But if there was one, it'd probably be Shark. I was lucky enough to ride Chuchesh, came second the other day, yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that. Actually, yeah, I saw she went again.
So it's good to get the opportunity. Very thankful to him.
Yeah, and that track there, obviously, not much it's not been going for very long. What was the track like there?
Yeah, it's a bit rare, Sam. To be honest, it's a bit rare.
Funny that, isn't it? Funny. It's in Wales.
It's Welsh, isn't it? Yeah. First year track, I think the biggest problem with that track, we should probably try and sort, if they can, is that bottom bend. Turning into the straight, there's quite a few that slipped up there.
Yeah. Tell her to be quiet.
Yeah, I'm with Ed now. Yeah, he's happy.
He's lucky. He's kind of defended the Welsh, isn't he?
He's just like a proud Welshman, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. No, yeah. No, I heard they were going to try and change a few things, but it's all trial and error a bit, isn't it? And yeah, no, it seems to have got plenty of runners anyway.
Well, this is it. So yeah, and the Irish came over, so it's good. Not sure how many Irish were over actually, but 15 of them. Yeah, so that was good. Because it's just over the water and down Fishguard, so it worked out well. It's good for the Welsh on a point as well, because we've lost a couple of meetings and they might have lost a couple of courses as well. So
yeah, it's good to have another one, isn't it, coming through?
Exactly, yeah, a new one coming through. So so it's taking China for that bottom bend out. It should have plenty more runners.
Perfect, brilliant. Well, enjoy France. Good luck with your conditional license, and yeah, shame we won't see you on a point-to-point course, but I'm sure there'll be a lot of people following you on the track. So good luck with that, and well done again this season.
No worries. Thanks so much, Sam. Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
You've just blown my mind in some sort of time machine where I'm not.
Yeah, that was strange, was it? That was good.
I like it. You sort of spoke to him, but you haven't. So we haven't listened to it. You've broken the fourth wall again. You are some man. Anyway. Moving on to people that you've spoken to a lot of times this season, actually, Sam, which is nice. And to be fair, it's been a real pleasure to see how she's developed over the season. We've managed to do a lot right from the early days, and she's only gone and done it. Clara Brewitt.
Here she is.
Delighted now to be joined by Clara Brewitt, who is our 24-25 female novice champion. Clara, that must sound good to say that eventually.
Delighted. Really happy to win it. Marina certainly kept me on my toes right the way to the end, but delighted to have won it.
Yeah, I think I read something, when Marina was there with Precious Bounty and got up against Gina. Did you pull up in the race or something and you were watching from the far side? Is that right?
Yeah, I cantered to the top of Lamb's Hill so I could watch the finish.
Yeah, that must be a nerve-wracking couple of fences to watch.
Yeah.
No, I was speaking to Gina and James, but it's good to have competition, isn't it? And have people that push you harder and make you, want it more. It's healthy.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's good to have an aim and have someone behind you all the way because it keeps you going.
Yeah, exactly. And at the beginning of the season, what were your aims when you started the season? Did you think this was possible?
No, not at all. I never even thought about it. It was good. I guess early on. I got a shot on time leader from Joe O'Shea, which was brilliant because he put the confidence in me to ride him and steer him round, and it started the season off really well.
Yeah, and riding horses like him does get you noticed, doesn't it? I bet you felt after you rode him that the opportunities were coming a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. I thought if I don't get an opportunity now, I'm going to really struggle.
Yeah, no, and these new changes for next season as well gives you another opportunity to have a claim and go again.
Definitely, because 5 winners isn't a lot to then suddenly not be a novice rider. So it opens up hopefully a few more opportunities, and can use a claim now again. So which is brilliant.
Yeah, no, so that goes up to 10 winners, doesn't it? Am I right?
Yeah.
Brilliant. So you got 3 more to go. How many more to go? 3?
Yeah, 3 more pointing. Yeah.
Brilliant, perfect. And then plans for the summer? I understand you're away in France in a minute.
Oh, sorry.
You there?
Yeah.
Well done. I understand you're away in France in a minute. What are the plans for the summer?
Yeah, so just enjoying a couple of weeks with Murray, riding out in France, which is really fun. Gaining a lot of experience as well. So enjoying it, and then soon be back to work again.
And then work next year. What's the plans for next season? Obviously, be nice to go for the title again, but where are you going to be basing yourself?
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. So I'm going a bit more freelance next season, and I am going to base myself with Charlie Post, which I'm really looking forward to. I feel like I'm going to learn loads there, and then keep going into Tom Britton, Joe Priest, and hopefully find a couple more to go into.
Perfect. And you built up quite a partnership with Charlie's horse, Cufflin Woods, over the last few weeks of the season. That must have been good.
Yeah, really good. Shame it didn't go too well at Stratford.
Oh, don't worry about
that. It's fine. It was all going too well, so.
Yeah, brought you back down to earth, made you realise. Yeah. Keep your feet on the ground.
Exactly, yeah.
But no, it's been nice to team up with Charlie and Fran and a nice horse like that, and especially to have your first chasing as well.
Oh yeah, it was unbelievable. It's such a nice horse, and to be trusted by Charlie and Fran was just amazing, really. And yeah, them putting me up gave me confidence to ride him, really.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for coming on. We look forward to chatting next year, hopefully maybe in the same position. But yeah, well done on a great season, and enjoy France.
Thanks, Sam. Thank you.
Take care.
Interesting news that she's moving to Charlie Post, going to go freelance and ride out of Charlie Post Yard. That's a connection they probably built up later in the season with our good mate Kilfillan Woods. Yeah, she's going there, and I understand that Murray, her boyfriend, who used to work with her at Dan Skelton's, he's going to Murray Dodd, who used to ride Tom Britton. He's conditional going to Venetia Williams. And we've obviously got Alex Chadwick, who I think was picking up his conditional license today. So he's going pro as well. So yeah, so it all changed, but it's nice to see them going on. And yeah, especially Murray, that's a good job, I think. I think he'll really suit the way they ride the horses at Venetia's. And yeah, good luck to him.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of Alex Chadwick, Sam, you just mentioned, I caught up with Jenny Owen earlier, who is the winner of the 6 to 14. We are smooth, aren't we?
Yeah, seamless, that was.
Seamless. The winner of the 6 to 14 horses category. First time I've ever spoken to her on this podcast, which in itself is an outrage, but I didn't waste an opportunity, Sam, and you can hear that chat right now.
Call will be recorded.
So delighted to say, for a podcast first, after all these years, being joined by Jenny Owen, who is the winner of the 6 to 14 horses category for this year's championships. Well done, Jenny, first of all.
Thanks very much, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no worries. So clearly there's, I suppose the season has been built around, 3 or 4 key horses, and that's probably, let's start there. What about Aramax? He's been a real star for you this year.
Oh, he's been brilliant. Gerald and James found him on the Tats online sale last year. It was quite a cheap purchase, and yeah, he surprised us all really with how well he's done. I think he quite appreciated the easier start off in the novice riders, but his confidence has just improved all season basically, and he's been great for the Whiskey and Water partnership. Had a lot of fun with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And a little birdie tells me they've actually bought another one in the yard, so to speak, having sold a Ragnar Lodbrok.
Yeah, so delighted to say they've bought All Mankind from the Gradley family. So he's been brilliant for us. A very talented horse. And Tim Gradley, he's a big fan of pointing. And he was really keen for All Mankind to stay in the pointing field. So he couldn't be going to a nicer bunch of people, and we're really excited to be keeping him anyway. And Tim loves the pointing, and it's great that he's supported us up until now with the pointers, and he wants to keep supporting.
Oh, that's fantastic music to anyone's ears who's in pointing, and hopefully there's a lovely supply of fantastic animals coming back to the pointing field over the years, courtesy of the Gradleys then. But and so of course that leads us on nicely to the big lens and others that have been stars for you this year. And is there any horse in the yard that's given you a particularly sort of satisfying win? Perhaps one that you've had to just sort of nurse back to full health or change their mindset, or is there any victories from this season that you really look back on and think, oh, that was a fantastic day, for whatever reason, whether it be the owner or the horse? Or...
Well, the big lens, he's got a big part of my heart. He's done well for us under rules for a previous owner, and he's just one of the yard favourites. I mean, the Rhea that rides him at home, she absolutely adores him, and it was selling him to the Stern family was just brilliant, and to have him still here. And so when he won that first time at Fakenham with Rupert, it was just that was great.
Yeah, I'm actually in letting all my secrets out the bag now. I'm actually in the fantasy league group that's got Rupert in the chat, and he got his just rewards anyway from plenty of banter.
Yeah,
but he did a fantastic job.
Rupert's been on fire this season.
Yeah.
He's in top form.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Stern family, they've also been great supporters of us, and it's great to have a nice horse like that for them.
Absolutely. Now, clearly, it's no secret that you've got very nice facilities, but one thing I've always wanted to ask you, I share a yard up in Lincolnshire with some vets, and it's really handy, just whether it's routine stuff or you want to do some bloods, or there's just some, a horse has had a little knock and you're wondering what it might be. It must be a huge advantage having the veterinary background that you have to the yard as a whole, but also to your own training of the pointers.
Yeah, no, definitely. I really like it as a problem solving sort of thing. I like sitting down and working out, why is that horse run badly? Is it got a wind problem? Is it, is there something else going on with it? I feel, it's no different to anyone else, I suppose. But I suppose I've got the access to, taking the bloods, reading the bloods. So that side of it, and probably not as many vet bills.
Well, this is it, isn't it? Yeah, I suppose if you're on the fence as a trainer that's mainly trains one or two, and you're on the fence about whether to bother doing with bloods or whatever, you've kind of got that at your fingertips. So it's got to be a help, but it's not everyone has got the requisite skills or intelligence to become a vet in the first place. So no one can blame you for putting it to good use. But so what's your aim for next season? Are you presumably, with the rules yard flying along on all fronts as well, you haven't got any great ambition to massively expand the amount of horses that go pointing, and it'll be a fairly kind of, there'll be a bit of a process of osmosis between what runs under rules and what goes pointing, etc. But you looking to stay at a similar sort of number, or is it something you wanted to keep on with?
Yeah, we'll be staying at a similar sort of number. We're definitely going to keep supporting the pointing. I mean, it's where we've, James and I've both come from, and we're definitely, we love pointing, we love our days out pointing, and definitely something we're going to continue to do and support. We haven't probably got the room to expand any more than we have, but we've had about six in training this season, and 6 or 7, and we'll continue about the same next year, I think.
Great stuff. And looking to next year, the news has broken recently that you'll no longer necessarily have Alex Chadwick at your disposal. How will that shape things? Have you got a jockey in mind that you're going to use as a stable jockey per se, or are you just going to use the best available to coin a John Gosden pun?
So we got a lad called Connell Kavanagh that works for us, and he's won on Ragnar Lodbrok actually for this season at Dingley, and he'll ride a bit for us, and Rupert, obviously. I mean, Rupert's with the big lens.
Yeah.
And Alex. Yeah, see how Alex gets on, and he's done so well this year with the amateur title.
It's worth a go for sure, isn't it? But you can have so many and come back to it, can't you? Like Jack has, and so
exactly. And I don't think that's out of the question. No. So I think he's going to see how he gets on this summer. But I've to be honest, I haven't actually mentioned Alex enough in this so far, because Alex is a massive part of the whole thing really, but particularly the pointers as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everyone. That's no one will mind that. It's there for everyone to see, and we've spoke about Alex extensively on the podcast, and he's obviously a huge part of the team, and will be greatly missed, I'm sure. But maybe it's a bye for now rather than bye forever sort of thing, and I'm sure he'll continue to be a huge part of the yard, whatever happens. So
exactly, yeah, he definitely will. Yeah.
Well, great to talk, Jenny, and hopefully we'll be back on next season. It sounds like you'll be gunning for the same sort of bracket of championship, and if we're around next season doing the podcast, we'll have to get you on for a full length episode.
Yeah, well, I need a bit more practice before that, but yeah.
Really grand. Well, thanks very much, and we'll catch up soon.
So we move on. Another lady I spoke to was Alice Dawson, who is obviously partner of John Dawson, and they very much run the business together. Alice trains them. John's been riding them to great effect. And this is what Alice had to say.
So delighted to be joined by Alice Dawson. Alice, you've very comfortably won the leading trainer for 5 or fewer horses for this season, and you must be over the moon.
Yeah, absolutely over the moon. Didn't really set away the season to think that we would win it. So that was it was a big it was a surprise, I suppose. It was it was brilliant to do.
And anyone that knows you or John even slightly will know that, there's an awful lot of hard work that goes into that yard and a fledgling business. You've got a young family as well, and it's very much a family affair. You take the kids all up and down the land with you, you proper grafters, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that are delighted to see you win that. There's been some horses. Something we'll talk about later with how few that you've actually had, but there's been some really key horses to that success, and maybe we'll start with Surprise Attack. He's been a revelation for you, really.
Oh, he's been amazing. We Lottie and the girls have put him with us last year, and we kind of had a bit of an up and down season with him last year. We actually had his pallet fired.
Okay.
He wasn't that confident with his jumping. And this year he seems to have just really enjoyed it. And yeah, whether that's because he's finishing his races better because he can breathe, I don't know. But we've also put cheek pieces on him, which has helped his concentration. He's always worked brilliantly at home, even last year. But we were a bit baffled to why he would pull up so quick, because he was such a good workhorse. But yeah, no, he's been brilliant, and he's just a pleasure to train. He's so easy. I ride him quite a lot. He's the ones that I have in my name that they're all I can ride them all, and I don't have any of the young ones in because I don't take any credit for them. I muck them out. That's about it. Put them on the walker, wash them off. But I wouldn't be riding any of the 4 or 5 year olds. I prefer the older ones, the mummies rides as I call them. And he's a proper gent. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. And that makes sense the way you split the horses in the yard, and for us hunter chase enthusiasts, I'm guessing it was the ground that caught Surprise Attack out at Carmel. Just got a little bit soft despite being given as good.
Yeah, well, actually, we scoped him after he ran because he blew very, very hard.
Right.
And he was full of mucus. So
right, okay, line through that one.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, what's impressive, I suppose, is the amount of winners you can have from so few horses, and obviously, as we've just discussed, there's some that you have in some name, your name, and some that John has in his, depending on their age and kind of who's doing the majority of the riding with them. But where do you see it going for you? Do you think that you'll have more at next season, more in full stop, or as you try and split your time between breaking and pre-training, is that something that will probably stay in balance as it is now?
Yeah, we do a lot of breakers and pre-trainers. They either go under rules, or we do quite a lot of half-breds, a lot of breakers this time of year, show jumpers and all the rest of it. But no, I think next year we'd like to think we'd have a similar amount of horses. Again, I would like to put the older ones in my name, just the ones that I ride, because we have two. I don't know whether John said before, but we have 2 yards. One where the gallop is at Mary Reevely's old yard, Keith Reevely's old yard, and then one at my parents', which is just at the foot of the North Yorkshire Moors. So we tend to bring the older horses come back down here, and do a lot of trotting out up the hills and cantering up the forestry tracks and whatnot. So it kind of gives them a little bit of a variety in their work.
Keeps them sweet.
And I can fresh. And the ones that I trained this year, Peggy, our daughter, could ride out with me, and they're all quiet. So going forward next year, John does all the work at Reevely's with his amazing team of staff. So I can't take any credit for that yard at all. But yeah, we'd like to think we'd have a similar number, or if not more. He loves the youngsters. He likes preparing them, and I'd like to think we can keep progressing forward with having a few a few young horses in the yard and trying to run and sell or sell them to owners to go under rules.
Yeah, and of course you had a nice one this season that John sold very nicely at Cheltenham. So that's really interesting actually. And I've obviously spoken to John quite a lot this year, and I hadn't actually realised that. I did know you in Easy, but I didn't know that you were training the others down at your parents. So that makes a lot of sense. And it's contrary to how a lot of partners train their horses, it's actually genuinely a 2-yard split. So that's interesting. That's what you say about keeping it fresh for the older horses as well is intriguing. So we'll no doubt be speaking to you next season when you've banged in a load more winners, and we look forward to it.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. Thank you.
Take care, Alice. See you soon.
Yeah.
Sam, you're a well-travelled man. You've occasionally got out of the Cotswolds. Have you ever been to Northumberland, my friend?
Name me some tracks that are in Northumberland.
Hexham.
Yes, double at Hexham. Only rode there once. Rode Lockinch, and I rode a horse from the Hamilton family called Cave Hunter.
I thought you meant you only had one ride. I was going to say it's pretty difficult to get a double from one ride, pal.
One visit, double. Yeah, that was good. Any other tracks?
Tramwell.
No. Cartmel?
That's the northwest. No, that's no.
Catterick.
Yeah, that's probably Yorkshire. I'm going to upset someone with every track that you mentioned because they're probably just over the border or whatever. So Northumberland, obviously Newcastle.
No.
Hexham. Is Carlisle?
Hexham.
Probably not, is it? That's the northwest.
No, we went to Carlisle. Catterick, rode in it. Catterick.
Kelso, surely, or is that in the Scottish borders?
Who?
Kelso.
Kelso.
You know the rules track, Sam.
Yeah, I don't think I've been there, mate. No.
Anyway,
we move on. We move on. Someone who is well-travelled, who I've spoke to last but not least, well, his horses are well-travelled, and they have done a lot of miles, especially since the later on in the season. And leading owner and the trainer of the leading horse, Daily Robin, the remarkable freak of a horse. Really interesting chat with Luke, and this is what he had to say.
I'm joined now by Luke Price, who again had a remarkable season, not only contributing to a big part of James King's success, but also leading owner and supplying us with the leading horse. Luke, you must be delighted with how the season went.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've been delighted. It was a good season, to be fair.
Yeah, and you obviously start your horses a bit later in November. I read November time they come in, and they obviously thrive throughout the back end of the season. Is that a plan you always have, or is that just other commitments?
It's just other commitments. Everybody says it's because of fast ground. We do run horses on fast ground. If they're sound horses, we'll let them take their chance. But it's not by design. It's just we just so busy with the cobs and other things that's the only time we got to get the pointers in. And then 10, 12, 16 weeks later, that's when they're ready. And it's normally beginning, end of March.
Yeah. And it's it's been quite remarkable. Obviously, working with James King is quite a big asset to you, I imagine. He's literally red hot on this form, isn't he? And I understand you speak quite a bit, and it must help you a lot to have him on side.
Yeah, he saw the road for us since COVID, obviously with Jason Warner. And yeah, we just never looked back, really. He's good. He goes through the races. We always confirm on the phone what's going, what's not, and where's the best place to go. Because at the end of the day, we want the horses to be a big fish in a small pond and give themselves the best chance of winning.
And that probably reverts to kind of the horses having easy races when they go and win. Like horses like Daily Robin, they're probably actually doing less at the races than they probably would be, during the week at home. Would that be fair?
Yeah, they go to the races to have their day off. Yeah,
yeah, that's what it seems like. And yeah, he's been a remarkable horse. So he probably not what you thought this would happen. Kind of, when you bought him. What kind of characteristics has he got that kind of attributes to him doing so well this season?
He's just a quirky horse with plenty of ability that probably nobody's got to the bottom of. We didn't know he had the ability. We just sort of the same thing we always do. We buy them and we try them. They're normally relatively cheap. And we just give him a chance. Tried him. He did have a little piece of form where he finished about 5th in an Open in Ireland. and he was about 15 lengths behind a couple of Fox Hunter horses.
Yeah.
So therefore, I thought, well, dropping back in the restricted, and Irish racing is obviously more competitive.
Yeah.
I just thought, well, he should win his 2 restricteds, and be a bit of fun, like, but he's just kept improving. Albeit we did have a couple of easy races, yes, but
everyone's got to win them. Everyone's got to win them, haven't they?
He's still got to gallop and jump round, and if he weren't right, he wouldn't win.
No, exactly. And obviously, winning, it was seven weekends on the bounce, is that right?
Yeah, now he was entered in Cherrybrook the weekend he had off, and I wanted to go, but it was James and my father that didn't want to go. And I said, let's just go down and run him. There was an open horse running in the members. I said, we got nothing to lose, let's just have a crack.
So it was their fault he had a weekend off.
It's their fault. Yeah, he would have won 9 on the bounce, I think.
But that's remarkable. And when you buy a lot of horses kind of out of rules yards, and I've noticed quite a few, especially this season, LA Bow, Skittle Man, out of good rules yards that they've probably got a nice pedigree, cost a bit as young horses. Is that kind of what you look for when you're buying them? Or is that just how it's felt?
To be honest, no. We just look at the form and think, can they win maidens? Can they win restricteds? I don't really look at the breeding, if I'm honest. No. Just because the form is there. They got the form to go and win the points.
Yeah, and also kind of, what do you do with the horses kind of then, if they're running, like Inchdaily Robin, for example, what would he be doing? He probably loves the way it's being trained. Would that be fair? Like not doing much in the week and then going out a weekend, would that be fair?
Yeah, I think he's thrived from that, really. And again, not by, not something we've done on purpose. We've just had a go, and like every week he's like, well, we'll take a chance, and he just kept doing it.
Yeah, just confidence.
We know it's just on a roll, and but you just don't know whether they're going to come back next year in that form. Yeah. So you just want to keep going for as long as you can.
Yeah, you could do some summer point-to-point racing, really, keep him going all summer.
Yeah, I think the season finished 6 weeks too early for him.
Could be breaking all sorts of records. And when you set out this season, like leading owner, are these championships? Obviously, you won plenty of the trainers' championships before. The leader, is it something you aim towards at the beginning of the season?
No, I don't even think about it, to be honest.
Yeah, and what you obviously started point to point. You've trained horses for nearly 15 years. Would that be right? 10 years? 10 years?
Yeah, I sort of went with my parents as a kid, and like they said, I wanted to be a jockey. I had a go. I think I rode about 15 winners myself, and I got too heavy. I always struggled with the weight from the start, and then I just turned to the training.
And you enjoy the training side of things?
Yeah, we just love it. Everybody says, why don't I get a permit? But it's not our type of thing under rules. We just like going, having a couple of winners, having a bit of crack, and everybody having a laugh and a joke back at the box and everything. And it's just a bit of fun, isn't it?
Yes.
We're running around the farmer's field at the end of the day, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, only had 51 runners this season and 25 winners, so kind of 50% strike rate is remarkable. How are you going to feel next season with these, if these rules gets changed and implemented? How do you feel about that on first look?
First look, I think it's going to actually decrease the numbers of horses even more.
Yeah.
Because everybody who had like an older horse, say 9, 10, 11-year-old, who can run in conditions races, they're not going to be able to do that as much, and then they're going to have to step them up to opens, and they're not good enough to win opens, and then therefore are they going to train those horses? I would say no. And I'm looking at social media of, Facebook, everything, everybody selling them types of horses.
Yeah.
Are they going to replace them? Probably not.
Probably not. No. We actually spoke to Luke Harvey this week as well on the podcast. He was on earlier in the podcast, and he's worried about it. He only trains one horse, and he does it for a bit of fun. And yeah, it's hard to see how. I thought the condition races were, they took a few years for everyone to get used to them, but I think they were working. I thought anyway.
They were working. The only thing I would change is, like, for instance, we went to Fleet Park this year, and there was 3 conditions races.
Yeah, you need to
on the same day, just like spread them about a bit more. I think that's all they needed doing.
Yeah, I completely agree. Next season, so how many horses do you have in each year?
Don't really have a particular number that we aim to get. We just we carry on with what we thought we would keep.
Yeah.
Sell what we don't want to keep, and just whatever we're left with. We don't say, oh, we have to have 20 or we have to have 10. We just whatever we end up on.
Perfect, brilliant, and you'll hopefully have a few again next year to help James again kind of regain his title.
Yeah, we're going to start earlier next year. I'm going to try and get some in early to do the earlier racing, because we feel, we feel we can have a little crack at the trainers' championship, if I'm honest.
Perfect. Well, that's exciting news. People better start watching out. Josh Newman, watch out. Luke Price is on for you. No, well done on a great season, and especially into Daily Robin. Real great training performance that, and well done, and good luck for next season.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, Luke.
Thank
you. Well. So that concludes our whistle-stop tour of the country. Speaking of which, Sam, speaking of tours of the country, something we've promised to do over the last few summers, but I'm not going to make the same mistake, is to do some various specials with trainers up and down the land. It's never quite managed to come off. I'm pretty busy from now on until the next season starts, as my sort of harvest time, so to speak, in the events world. So you've started a salacious rumour on the last podcast, telling everyone that we're never coming back. And whilst that is undecided, you seem to have got a few people wound up, Sam. So thanks for that, first and foremost. Second, good. I think it's only right that we put the record straight. The future is well and truly undecided. We're not being divas. There's no agenda at all. We are genuinely unsure what we're going to do next time. If you've got any strong views either way, please send them to Sam on social media, and we'll just see where the wind blows us. We've been doing it a long time. Really enjoyed it. And we'll just see what happens. Sam, how do you plead?
Anyone got any good ideas on how to make my life easier to create this podcast single-handedly? Please get in touch, because it's becoming a chore and my back is in bits.
Single-handedly?
Wow, actually, no. Just Steph's helpful.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a good opportunity. You can give me all the jip that you like, but this is a good opportunity to thank Steph, who'll probably edit this out, but shouldn't do. Steph, you put in a lot of work comping together the YouTube edits and saving our bacon on lots of occasions. So yeah, huge thank you to Steph Jones, who also, Sam, it's fair to say, puts a lot into the sport with the work with the PPRA as well.
Very much. And putting up with us.
Say again?
I bet some days she wants to kill us.
Most, I'd say. But speaking of the PPRA, our thanks to them for their support this season. As I said before, we've near enough done this podcast for free for 5 years, but we have for the last 2 seasons had a bit of money from the PPRA to help with some of the running costs and keep us going. So that's been massively appreciated, and our huge sincere thanks to them and everyone involved for taking the decision to do that. And lastly, a huge thank you to you, our loyal listeners.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, all right.
Not you, Sam. I've never thanked you in public. Don't be so ridiculous.
Go carry on.
Thank you to our loyal listeners. It's for whatever reason, there does seem to be a good number of people who enjoy listening, and we really appreciate you being here and making it. For just take last week for an example. Well, not last week because we didn't do it the week before. There was a problem with the audio. I had to get Steph out of bed at 10:30 at night. Then she sent me the file back. It didn't work. I then got out of the bath. The whole thing was a fiasco, but we do put a bit of work behind the scenes and try and keep the ball rolling, because we know that some of you look forward to it on a Friday morning while you're mucking out doing it, whatever it is that you're doing. I'll stop rambling. This has been
how you going on here?
Sam, you can't swear. Well, you can. Who cares? Who's going to cancel us? We might never be back. Pleasure to see you, Sam. I will see you again soon. Any final words?
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Amen. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
You're listening to Pointing Pointers, the Point to Point podcast.